Dan in Romania, you're on with Matt and David.
Romania.
Hello, David. Hello, Matt.
Hi.
Yeah, I just want to begin by saying hi and hope you and your loved ones are doing fine.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Same for you.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief. In essence, my question is regarding St. Paul, or Paul of Tarsus, Paul the Apostle.
Sure.
And it's pretty simply, why wouldn't we take for granted or believe the Christian narrative, especially the one of Paul, who most historians and scholars agree that, he wrote the earliest letters and manuscripts that are included in the Bible and so on. Why would we basically believe that Paul and the apostles are, I don't know, either lying or somehow mass hallucinating or so on? Why wouldn't we simply take them for granted and, take the story that they told?
So first of all, you don't have to be thinking that Paul was lying.
Okay, yeah, agreed.
But you don't just, when somebody tells you that they've had an experience on a Damascus road with the risen Savior of the world, you don't just take them at their word, because if you do that, you're going to have to do that for anybody else who makes that claim. Otherwise, you're going to be on shaky footing. So while Paul has a potentially interesting story, there's no evidence for that beyond his, saying that it happened. It is inconsistent with how the way we understand the world to work, and therefore it needs more evidence than merely someone say so.
Yeah, and I'd only add, just take any of those claims and assume that someone today made those claims. Like they started up a blog or they got on YouTube and they made those claims. And just how would you respond to that?
Yeah, I would be very skeptical of that. But I guess the reason, I do agree with you, we would be in a position where we would have to take everyone for granted. But, maybe going to a more personal angle, so to say, I don't quite see, both Paul and the apostles were very, let's say, low people in the sense that they weren't someone in society. What I'm trying to say is I know this might sound gullible, but I don't quite see a reason why would they either make it up or either somehow they've mass hallucinated or it just...
Was David Koresh a significant person in the world before he started his cult?
I don't know who. Okay, I guess he's a cultist.
Yeah. So David Koresh led to the Waco tragedy. But just pick every other person that's ever been a founder or a contributor to any other religion. Because if you're going to accept the Christianity based on this thing, then how do you rule out other versions of this? When you ask what reason would they have, I'm fine with the notion that some of these people, first of all, we don't know who wrote the Gospels. We don't know. None of them are eyewitnesses. We don't have any way to verify it or investigate. I'm fine with the notion that they were honestly telling us what they thought was an accurate description of what happened, but that doesn't mean it was in fact actually accurate. And what's troubling for me is if it were accurate, then that means that there is a God who could instantly clear all this up and has failed to do so for thousands of years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's somehow moving the discussion to why doesn't God just appear in front of us or so on?
Yeah. Well, why not? I think did it for Paul.
I think you're asking a fair question. Don't get us wrong. Like how, why would they make it up? And why should we take it for granted? These are good questions. I don't see the problem in asking that question. But as Matt's pointed out, they are, at the end, they are just claims, and they have to be tested in some way if we're going to believe them. And at least that's the way I think about it. And I try to always assume a claim from history. If it was made today, how would I respond to it? And I would respond to it the same way I'm going to respond to this one.
Yeah. I got to move on, Dan, but I appreciate the call. And it is a good question. And the only answer that we can come up with is the one that I've already given, which is I'm not saying these people are lying and I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying that their claims, merely the claims on their own, aren't sufficient to just warrant belief.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so thanks again for taking my call. And
sure.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you.